Right, what is happening, everyone? Yeah, it is bells in the morning, and this is going to be the first one of the 7 a.m. drop. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning now. Birds are singing, everyone's happy. So, wakey, wakey, rise and shine. It's story time. Now, this story is a bit heavy. It's going to be heavy. Now, it's not based on me, this one. Fictionally, of course. It's based on my mate, who I call Heavy, yeah. So, you have different, like, types of people and different types of things. So, let's just use an analogy, yeah. If you've got someone who's a hard lad, he's like a hard lad round the town, he's a hard lad in, the pubs and all this, that, and you go and put him in the ring with an intermediate cage fighter, he's going to get the floor wiped out of him, isn't he? So it's simple as that. So this is basically my mate to me, is that to that, you know what I mean? Now, I'm going to have to be very, very careful upon the delivery on this, so I'm going to be a bit vague on loads of things, but I'm going to tell you the difference and what went on, and this is heavy, this is heavy. This is going to be a two-parter, so this one now, it's going to be uploaded by 7 o'clock in the morning. Might be a little bit after it all by the time it's processed and all that, because we're just starting it now at 6 o'clock now, so see where it goes, right? It's off the top, we're just going to see what happens right now. Let's get into it, right? So kick back, have your brekkie, do what you're doing, if you're on the way to work, whatever, and just get with me on this one, right? Get with this one, because this is probably going to be the deepest, heaviest fictional story so far, right? And it's part of the series. The series is 31 Days of Crime. We had yesterday's one, which was Blood on Matthew Street, and this one today, it's called The Runner That Knew Too Much, right? Now, this is going to be a bit heavy, this, so just brace yourself, fasten your seatbelt, and let's go right into it, yeah? So, I've got a mate there, and I don't really stay in touch with him much. This is a different mate to the heavy mate, right? So I'm going to call him the heavy mate, that's all I'm going to call him. He's above my pay grade, right? He's who I go to if I need something. He's like who I'm part of. He's who I wouldn't mess with, you know what I mean? And in like most things in life, you've got people who wouldn't mess with you and people who you wouldn't mess with. Now, it's different levels, right? So, this kid, he's heavy, heavy, all across the gaff. I'm talking Europe as well. I'm talking, me, I'm localised, I'm Liverpool and the Northwest, and, I've got mates all over the place. I've got mates all, England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, Liverpool. I've got mates all like that, everything like that. But if I get out of there, that area, or that, the nation, I'm just a little fish in a big pond, so what I mean? That's just what it is, that's just how it is. Where I am now, I'm alright, I'm signed, I respect everyone, I don't do nothing wrong, no one hates me. I don't think I've got any enemies. I might have enemies, but I don't think I have that I can remember, but things do come back and bite in the ass. So one day, my mate comes to me, it's not the heavy mate, we're going to call him the heavy mate when we speak about him, and we're going to call this other one just me other mate, right? So there's two people who I'm focusing on. One's me other mate and one's me heavy mate. Now my other mate is just one of the lads, he's sound and all that. Known him for years, proper sound. Knows Bird, knows my, I'm intertwined with them and all that, know the family and all that. So he was coming up across hard times, he was working, he was in a job and all that. And he's like, can you get me any work? So I'm like, well, I can, like, but, do you really want to do it? He's like, yeah, lad, I need to do this, blah, 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 blah. Just like a little one-off, just something like that, So I mean, so I said, all right, I said, well, I haven't really got no one-off work for you because at the time, at the time now, whatever, I've got my own people who do my own things, so we're all independent, so we don't really need anyone else, and for me to bring someone into our firm like that, into the inner circle, it's unnecessary, and other people in my mates and my firm, people are like, lads, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? So, when you're in a firm with people, you don't make decisions on your own, you talk about it, yeah? So, if I do something like that, and don't tell nobody, they'll raise eyebrows like, what are you doing, lads? How come he's doing this, blah, 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 blah. Because we're all in on it, all the bits, we're all in on everything together. So it's like, whatever parcels we've got in the safe house and all that, that's all of ours, it's not just mine. Do you know what I mean? I've got my own little separate bits and that, like lemon, whatever, but the main bulk of it, it's not just mine, we're all in on it. That's just how we've always been, we get our own bits in and that's just all ours, that's how we roll, do you know what I mean? So it's a setup and it's been going for years. But we stay away from like rat and other firms and that, so we're just independent, do you get what I mean? We always have been, so if people know us, they know that we're just independent, we always just have been, and that's that. Now, we can have a go, we're up for it, we'll do anything, no boundaries if it needs to be, but my heavy mate is another level, and I mean another level, just a totally different ball game, do you get me? So, my other mate comes to me and he's talking to me, he's like, I know, he's all depressed and I need to do this, lad, blah, 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 blah. So I said, all right, I said, listen, I've got nothing I can do for you, lad, right? Because, to be honest with you, mate, you've pissed a few of my proper mates off, the things you've done, and they look at you like you're just a little lemo head and all that. And he's like, I know, lad, I know, but, I've changed. I'm like, lad, I know, but when people change, I can see you've changed because I'm with you all the time and I see you regularly, but they just don't look at you like that, lad. They wouldn't trust you, lad, because of what you've done. And he's like, I know, lad, I know. He's like, I know, I said sorry. I'm like, lad, but sorry doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't erase the stain of the relationship, yeah. Lad, you've done silly things for silly prizes, yeah. Lad, I had to stop you from getting wasted by my mate, you know what I mean? He's like, I know, I know, I know. I said, so how can I just bring you in now and be like, oh, he's changed, he's a new man, lad. He'd just be like, shut up, you divvy. Yeah, so that's it. Now, you can get overruled, so, you know, although I'm the main instigator and I'm the main person who, like, you know, gives them instructions and that, I can still be overruled, simple as that. Because if a couple of mates are against it and I'm for it, that's it, I've lost, you know what I mean? Because we're all one firm and we're all together. So you've got to go with the flow, that's just how it is, right? So he comes to me and we're sitting there, we're having a stripe and having a brandy, telling me those problems and all that. I'm like, okay, lads, sounds. So I was mates with this other firm, and this other firm, they're all right, they're not rats and all that, but, you know, we do bits with them and all that. So I knew they were looking for someone to do like little bits, you know, just be a driver and all this and all this. So I said, I'll give them a ring and I'll see what they say and all that. So he's like, all right, sounds. So the kid gets up and all that. I goes to bed and all that. And the next day, he remembers and I wakes up. So I phones me other mate who's in this other firm. I'm like, do you need anyone? He's like, yeah, that sounds. What's he like? I said, lad, he's all right. I said, but just keep an eye on him. Do you know what I mean? Just like, he's like, what do you mean? I said, just keep an eye on him, lad. I said, because he is sound and that, but, you know, he's got a bit of a past where he's not a rat lad. And he's got respect, but he's just stupid sometimes, lad. He doesn't like think of things and he makes silly decisions and then he's like, all right, mate, sound. I said, so I'm going to be straight with you, I'm going to tell you now straight, and that's what it is, yeah. He's like, all right, but this firm, they like have connections with this other firm who I hate them, the rats, the absolute rats, and they hate me. But it's like, it's mutual with this firm that they don't talk about me to the other firm and so on and so forth, you know what I mean? So it's like the other firm who I'm talking about, they've got like separate values and separate, they do their own things that's nothing to do with me, you know what I mean? So I like this other firm than my mates, and the firm who they go with as well, I hate them, I can't stand none of them, they're all belling, they're too big for the boots, they just think they're on one, and, you know, I've punched loads of their heads in loads of times, and, you know, it's just tit for tat. Now and again, we had a bit of beef for ages and all that, so I hate them, I can't stand them, right? They're just little slimy rats, mate, you know what I mean? Just rats. They're like the bullies, and they'll rob people, and they're just little rats, you know what I mean? So we had a bit of a fallout. Yeah, I'll tell you what happened with that. We had a bit of a fallout and it was going heavy and all that. So my heavy mate, he got involved, yeah, and listen to me now. He just made one phone call and he always went, brrr, and that was that. That was that. So we just agreed to stay out of each other's way, and that's it. Just, you know, just carry on what we're doing. So it's been silent, it's been dormant for about 3 years, but, you know, it still runs deep, doesn't it? It's still, you know, it can ignite at any moment. So my other mate who was talking about, I ended up bending him onto the firm who I'm signed with, and he's like, yeah, it sounds. So you've got him doing little bits and all that, little bits and that. And then he started like, not pulling away from me, but, like when you talk to someone and you can see that, I don't know, not that you're driving something, but they're wording things a bit of a different way. Do you get what I mean? Like, you're asking them, what have you been up to? Oh, no, I just said generalised and that, and like, weird, what's going on about? He normally goes deep with me, and, you know, like, we have proper conversations and that. So I'm like, yeah, sounds. So I'm like, how are you getting along? He's like, sounds. So a few weeks going past, a few months going past, everything sounds. And all that. So then he says to me, lad, I'm going on holiday. I said, you going on holiday? He's like, me bird. I said, are you, lad? Yeah. I said, what, back on your feet now? Because I know he had none, he never had no money. He's like, yeah, I'm doing well, and all that. I said, sounds. But he was lying, right? And I didn't know he was lying. I never ever questioned him about this at the time, because it just seemed that, like, you know, just naturally it was sound. So one day, I'm in the house and I'm talking, and this lad phones me up, and the lad's from Sheffield, right? And he's my mate, he's the Sheffield firm. And he's saying to me, well, what's happening, lad? He said, oh, what's happening, lad? He said, I was talking to your mate the other day. And he said, who? So he's mentioned the lad who's my other mate who I've bent onto the firm, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, where did you speak to him? He said, he was in Sheffield. I said, he was in Sheffield. I said, who was he with? They don't even go to Sheffield, you know what I mean? They have nothing to do with Sheffield, because I've got like, not Sheffield, but I've got firms in Sheffield who are my mates, and we do things together, so why would he be up there? He's like, oh no, he was with this other firm, such, and name the firm who I hate. And I'm saying, lad, are you sure? He said, yeah. I said, who was you with? And he told me, and I'm thinking, what's he doing with them? He says, well, they were going to Thailand, weren't they? I'm like, going to, whoa, what are you on about, lad? He's like, he's going to Thailand. He said, he was telling me they're going to Thailand and all that, and this, that, and they were asking me, just all, and I'm thinking, wow, that's proper crazy, now, what's he on about? What's he on about there? So I thought, that's proper, set me head west, that, because it's like, I never had doubts of it, but it explains things to me, where he's going all the, and who he's going, no, do you know what I mean? So my head was like a little bit, wow, that's a little bit mad, that. So I told him, so phones him up. I'm like, what time? He's like, what time? I said, where are you? He's like, where? I said, come to mine for a bit, lad, let me talk to you. He's like, why, what's up? I said, no, nothing's up. He's like, lad, you sound like something's up. And his reaction is, I'm like, why would there sound like something's up, lad? Do you get what I mean? And his reaction was a bit weird. You know what I mean? So when he's come, I said to him, what are you up to? I said, where are you going on holiday? He's like, Spain. I said, no, you're not. I said, what are you lying to me for, lad? I said, you're going to Thailand with them, aren't you? And he's like, oh, lad, I didn't want to tell you because, you know, I don't want to cause no trouble and that, but lad, they've offered me all kinds of stuff to bring all kinds of weed back and that. And I'm like, lad, listen to me, you're playing with fire. He's like, what? I'm like, listen, you're playing with fire. I said, you don't know them. He's like, lad, the sounds. I'm like, lad, they're not sounds. They're not sounds. I've dealt with them for years. You don't even know them. They're not sounds. They've blagged you. They're not sound, lad. I said, and what you're walking through with all kinds. He's like, well, yeah, well, we're going from Thailand to India. I'm like, lads, what? I'm like, lads, what are you? He's like, lads, it's already son. I've already had some of the dough. I'm like, oh, you are messing you. You are, how much do you? He's like, 80 grand. And I'm like, okay, so that explains where you got the dough. I said, how much of the dough you got left? He's like, about 20. I'm like, lads, you're fucked. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, lads, you're fucked. He's like, nah, it's not. So I'm like, oh, I said, lads, have you been speaking about me? He's like, no, lads, I haven't mentioned you once. They haven't mentioned you once and all that. So I'm just thinking, what is down here? So I phoned my other mate up who originally bent them on too. And I'm like, lads, what happened there? And he went, lads, it was nothing to do with me. He said, lads, it was nothing to do with me. He said, now, I said to them, if you ask me, I'm going to tell them because it is what it is. And the other one's like, lad, you're a grass. And I'm like, but what, why would you be a grass, lad? Because they know something's wrong. And he's going to me, lad, you actually proper got him by the grip, you know. I'm like, what do you mean? He went, lad, he wasn't doing all kinds. I'm like, well, what's he doing with you? He went, lad, I've fucked him off. He's not even working with me no more. I'm like, are you messing? So he's not even working with you no more? He's like, no. And I'm like, oh my God, lad, why didn't you tell me? He's like, lads, I haven't seen it. I'm like, listen, lad, what are you? He's like, lads, I didn't think it was that much of a problem, lad. He says, I know you've got beef with that other firm and that, but, you know, we get along with them, lad. So from where we're standing, lad, you know, it doesn't seem like much of a problem to us. And I'm like, lads, what are you on about? So straight away, I'm on my back foot and I'm thinking, do you know what? This is like, it's gone weird. This is like a little bit, you know, it's sketchy, innit? It's proper sketchy, innit? Now, I can't stand these other lads. I've done things to them and they've, you know, we've had tiffets, like I'm saying, and they don't know where to live and all that, but he does know where to live and all that. So I'm now thinking in my head, has he compromised me? Do you know what I mean? Because my kids live here. Has he compromised me there? Has he been chatting shit off his barney, thinking he's sound well in with all that firm, and just been asking him questions like without him even knowing? Do you get what I mean? Because that's what you would do, wouldn't you? You'd get into someone, you'd ask them questions without them knowing you're asking them questions. Do you see what I mean? And he's not exactly the brightest spark neither. He's daft, and he wouldn't know. Like, he knows not to say something, but he wouldn't know he was saying anything. Do you get what I mean? My head fell off, let's just see what happens here. So it's playing on my mind for days. So he's just on my mind thinking, what's going on here, And, you know, it's all quiet on the front, not like that, nothing's going on, nothing like that I know about, but I can just feel like something's tick-tocking in the background, yeah? So I thought, I'll phone me mate, so I phoned me heavy mate, and he's in Dubai. I'm like, what's happening, lads? And what's happening? How long you over there for? He's like, I'm back in about 2 weeks. Why, what's up, kids? You all right? I'm like, yeah. So I'm telling him. He's going to me, listen, don't worry about it. And he's like, don't worry about it. He said, lad, worst case, he said, you know, we'll just have a word to him. He said, lad, no one will do nothing, it's all sad now. And I'm saying, I know, but he knows where I live, and he goes to me, listen to me now, lad. He goes, anyone comes near your gaff where them kids are, because he's like my kid's godfather sort of thing, do you know what I mean? So he's my proper, the heavy lad, he's my proper good close mate, do you know what I mean? And I didn't even, you got me into this, but without getting me into this, like, you know what I mean? I just, when we were younger now, just seeing the path he went down, and I was going down to the shitty work pattern, it was a waste of my time. So he never got me into it by asking me. I come to him sort of thing, and he was like, yeah, lad, well, you know, I'll bend you on a few bits now. And I was trusted and I was doing good, and then this, and then it ends up like bringing me other mates into them. He ends up with our own little firm, and then, you know, he pushed me off the side, he gave me a good push off the side, you know, he let me go to start off with, he's done this, he was getting me stuff, and like, it was to the point where they were getting bits in, and he was coming to me saying to me, lad, do you want to come on this job? Do you want to come on bend on this graft with me? And I'm like, lad, I haven't got a pot to piss in. He's like, it doesn't matter, lad. He says, I'll sort it for you. He said, you know, and that's that. So I'm like, come on, son. And like, he'd just turn up and give me like bags of cash and just be like, yeah, that come through there. He said, now, out of that bag of cash, I need so much of it because that's what you would have threw in if you'd had it all, like, initially. I'm like, go on, son, lad, taking like a small portion of it. So let's just use, for instance, this is an exact amount, but say he's passed me 20 grand. When he's come, he's given me the 20 grand and he said, but lad, if you would have threw in, you would have had to give me 5. So I'm taking the 5, and that was my risk, and that's fair enough, son, lad. You just give me 15 grand for nothing. Yeah, that is a push off the side, isn't it? Now, 15 grand for me at the time, it was prestige, you know, it was proper sound. It absolutely changed, not the 15 grand changed everything, but what come after it changed everything. So I owe the lad a lot, yeah, I owe him a lot, mate, and, you know, he's my mate, and that's what you do for mates, yeah. Now, I do things like that for my mates now. So it is what it is, you know, you pass on what's being passed on to you and so forth. So this lad, who we called the other lad, right, He's just running around with these firms. He's been seen in boozers with them. He's been seen and doing this with them. He's been seen doing that. He sent lemo. He bought lemo off someone, and off one of my mates. My mate's like, lad, seen your mate with such and such. He's like, bringing lemo and all that. And I'm just like, what's he on about? He's getting close with this firm, but he doesn't realise that he's not getting close with this firm. He's not getting close with this firm. They're absolutely grooming him, mate. I know they are. So they're sending him out the way to come back with absolute keys of weed, right? Now, if he doesn't come back with them keys of weed, they're the type of firm that'll bill him. Yeah, even if he gets nicked, it doesn't matter, they'll bill him. And even if he goes to jail, they'll bill his family. That's what they're like, that's why they're rats. Now, what I'd do, me personally, if I send someone to go and bring bits over, and the bits got took off them, and I know for a fact that you just got to take that on the chin. You can't start, putting bills on people's families. And if he goes to jail for it, they will bill his family, I guarantee you. Now, they'll make payment plans as mad as that, everything. They're rats, they're fucking rats. So that's where I'm trying to go with, that's what I'm trying to explain, but no one's listening to me. He's not listening to me. He thinks he knows best because he's having the time of his life in boss cars on the limo with all birds, and yeah, I've got these with me. These aren't with you, lads. These aren't with you. These will absolutely put you night at the click of a finger if they feel it's necessary. Yeah, and that's it. So he's like, stayed away from me and all that. So here's what happens, right? He goes abroad. Now, I only found this out about 3 days after it happens, right? So he goes abroad, yeah, he gets on his holiday and all that, he's all parcelled up, and I mean parcelled up, proper suitcases parcelled, and what they've done, they've stuck Bobby, and they've stuck Lemo, they've put all kinds in it, they just absolutely blagged me. They told me it was only weed, it weren't only weed, it's all kinds, right? So this kid is carrying absolute bruti's worth of drugs, right? Absolute bruti's worth, right? Now, all right, they give him 80 grand, he's spent that, he's only had 20 last time I spoke to him, so by the time he's gone there, and he's been in Thailand for a bit, and he's party, whatever, he's got nothing left, yeah? So now he's got to do it, there's no way he can't do it, he's got to do it, right? So, get on this, right? He gets the parcels, right? So he's parcels up in Thailand, he gets to the airport, and there's a changeover in India, right now. As far as the weed's concerned, right, it's legal in Thailand, it's legal in India, right? As long as it's like, you've got paperwork for it. But they haven't just given him that, they give him all kinds, they give him Bobby, they give him Lev, they give him all kinds. So the initial agreement was he's going to bring just weed back. Right now, if he would have just got caught in India with the weed, he would have still got to the UK, would have been sound, he'd got the weed took off him if he never had like paperwork. But that'd have been it, do you know what I mean? That'd have been it. But they never, they had Bobby, they had Lemo, they had all kinds. So he's been nicked, and it's just absolutely gone pear-shaped for him, right? Absolutely remanding that, mate, just imagine that. There's no description of stupid. So a few days go past, and the lad's ma phones me, and he says, have you seen him? I'm like, no. I said, no. What's happening? Because I didn't know the exact date they were going. I just knew he was going round about the time, you know what I mean? So I didn't really know the ins and outs of it, because he like I said, he kept himself away from me for a bit. So his ma phoned me up, and she's like, I've had a phone call off these lads. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, they've come to the house. I said, saying what? Saying that he's robbed them for all kinds. I said, what? She's like, it's heavy, it's a few hundred grand. And I'm saying, what do you mean? I'm thinking, the little rats, what's happening? They know he's been nicked, right? And he's proved them, he must have easily proved them, because he must have spoke to them. They must have, how do they know? Yeah, he's been nicked. So he's been nicked, yeah, he's probably looking life off for that, you get me? No one was asked, they weren't asked, they wanted to know. They've gone to his family, they've gone there, and they're like coming to me, not coming to me asking for help, but like advice. And I'm just like, it's nothing to do with me. I don't even want it to be nothing to do with me, because if I get involved with this firm, it's going to absolutely go off. There's no way it's not right. So I'm like, let me just have a word, let me just see what's happening, and all that, right? So I phoned me mate, me big mate, you know what I mean, the heavy kid. And he's like, lad, he said, listen, he said, I don't know what I can do about it, he said, because it's not really nothing to do with me, lad. I'm like, lad, I don't want it to have nothing to do with it, I don't want it to have nothing to do with it, I'm just asking you what you think. And he's like, well, lad, that's what they're going to do, innit? So what I mean, he said, someone's lost major dough, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I said, but, I told him, he's going, lad, the rats. I said, I know the rats. He's like, well, that's how rats operate, lad. He said, but it's nothing to do with us, lad, it's nothing to do with you, keep out of it. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So I'm trying my best to keep out of it, And then one of the lads phones me one day, right? One of the lads who I had beef with. The cheeky, you should have heard them mouth on him. Listen, lads, I'm like, what? He's like, lads, you bent him on this. I'm like, what? Who are you talking to like that, lad? I said, who are you talking to, lad? And he's like, what do you mean, lad? He said, yeah, if you want to come to yours, I'll pay you a visit, and says me address. Oh my God, that's it, right? That's it. You've got me address, you know where to live and all that, and my kids live here, yeah.